everybody for coming on this great occasion. My name is Edward Hamilton, I'm part of the Why Not NGO. Ourselves, together with Adrian Caruana, are very proud and happy to host Lama Karma Drodhul in Malta. Today, Lama Karma has something very special for us. Feel free to interact. At the end of the ceremony, at the end of the talk, feel free to interact with Adrian, myself, and Lama Karma himself, if you like. I'll give the floor to Lama Karma.
Flow. Got the flow. That's an expression. Bonjour. Or it walked. I would like to begin with prayer and do some we call lineage prayer, which means that teaching Dharma is all about blessing and living lineage. Therefore, I pray to my Guru and all the masters that carry the transmission all the way to Lord Buddha. So I would like to do the prayer and please be part of that prayer. Amen. Oh, I'm happy you are still not sleeping. Such long chanting. And thanks so much. I always have had and also Adrian, everybody, having me here. Ed just mentioned that maybe I have a special offer to you, but I doubt I can do that. But we all, as a human being, and there's no any difference. Just have different culture, different personality, different clothes. But other than that, we are really deep down in our heart. It is just absolutely same. Someone who deserves, happiness, and someone who deserves eradicate or get rid of all suffering. So that's in that sense, we are same people or same human being. Therefore, because of our innermost hope is same, that's why we have different culture, different religion, different spirituality helps us to support mentally and physically and spiritually. So that's why I felt maybe it is fit to discuss a little bit about what, as a Tibetan Buddhist practitioner, can offer some guides or some service to the humanity. And I normally, start with my own background, and I think I already mentioned many times. And those people who heard this many times, you can, take a nap or something. I don't know. But I do feel that in this one person, I do feel that I would like to share, how I, where I come from, and I was, born in Eastern Tibet, and with very, very isolated nomadic life, and you really, it's like maybe one year you don't see any other people other than our own neighbors. And I remember up until 8 years old, I never really saw cars, and I would tell the story again that one day I remember some Chinese people came and wanted to buy some things from nomadic place, and we had those materials that they wanted to buy, and so I heard my dad told me, the kids, go and help them, bring those resources. And so we went down there because it wasn't a car, it was a motor truck or something, motorcycle truck. And so we went down and just gave to them. They gave money, and then all of a sudden this, we felt like much. The noise was just we felt like something like cracking the earth or something. That's what they started the motorbike, and we all screaming, just running, and I remember my youngest brother, was with me, and I wanted to protect him, so I carried him and just running up the mountain. I felt, if I run up the mountain, I won't get hurt or something. So that's how our life was, so isolated, and of course the truck couldn't even reach to my village. How can they go up the mountain? So it was perfectly safe, but that's the first time I remember I saw the motor truck. And then we have 10 children, and we never had a house for a long time, and we had we call black tent, which is made from yaks here. It is made by my mom, and they always make thread, come together a lot of hard work to involve in order to make that tent. And then you have to sew up, etc. So we have like 10 children, parents, everybody sleeping together in that tent. And that was the only space we have, like a bedroom, storage room, a showing room, everything, and we don't have bathroom, like bathroom is outside, wherever you would like to go. It's open. And my dad never had a decent job, and we just taking care of the herds, and that was our source. And getting money was very, very hard, so we often daily, like every day, we have little hunger and not so serious, but never really had a full stomach to eat, and especially as a shepherd, we didn't have enough cloth, crack in our hands, etc. But there was no sort of sad feeling or depression or anything like that. Something I actually learned when I came to America. Yeah, I did. And I got depression myself. That's a joke. I hope it's a joke. You never know. Sometimes there's a secret you don't want to talk about. So let's don't go to that place. Pretend I'm a very happy person. So my mom and dad was very, very loving person, like all other Tibetan people. One thing that there are many differences between situations, but one thing was it's almost like 90% people kind of finish their marriage, and when they're married, and they normally only think about how to take care of children, how to survive, rather than just having divorce and fighting or argument. That was a beauty that I saw in Tibet. And because in the West, where I live, it's very hard for people. Even the marriage goes long term, still there's a lot of competition or something. Little things, argument about little things, not so important, And so of course, my background was, totally Buddhist. We always do practice. My dad was our teacher. He taught me Tibetan, how to read. We never really had school. None of my sisters and brothers went to school. We always have maybe like homeschool, or would you say maybe my dad was. And we had maybe 10 out of 10, 2 children died, and then out of 8 we have 4 monastics. One of my sister became nun, and my father was our teacher, and when he goes away, we just don't read, and when he comes back, we have the examination, and then he gets upset and he beats us up pretty good. Especially me, I was very naughty, really naughty. I don't know how naughty. I mean, it was I as a small child always liked to fight, not so good, But it's interesting because how my dad taught us is like a very harsh way. When he teaches, normally very loving family, but when he teaches, he's very hard and can beat you up and scream you, etc. But I never felt that was something bad, because when I went to monastery, it was everything was ready, and I felt it was So I actually, because of my dad, I was able to, go right away to the monastery and do pujas, etc. And so I'm not here to teach, talk about my life story, what's so important, but that is how my background was. And I think there's a point in this situation. I think two things. One is that this story actually tells that the happiness is not totally relying upon materials. It is something spiritual and inner environment, and mostly it comes from loving compassion and calmness. It is not really come from such great wealth or dignity or higher position. So that is one. The second thing is that what was the second thing? You see? Well, maybe just forget, Just, be honest, I thought there were 2 points, but... second thing, there was second thing. Really, I did have, but we'll see, maybe later. So what I wanted to share is that, of course, today we go through a thorough explanation about meditation, sitting and walking meditation. But we must understand what Buddhism teach, and especially how we as an individual function as a practitioner. And the Buddhism history always has to begin with the noble country, India. India is the source of such spiritual and also, especially Buddhism came from India, from Buddha himself. And of course, regard with the culture, we have very different cultures. Some Asian countries, there's the difference in gender. When you different, society, it is very, very common. We have some countries have so much freedom. Some countries does have much freedom, and they, some Muslim countries, you have to, cover your face all the time. There are many different society, but it is just how the world functions, and India was one of them. They have this caste. Family situation. They have 4 different castes, the king's caste or family, the Brahmin, etc. And those lower castes or family are not allowed to go to the higher family's house or stores. There was a lot of these situations. And when Lord Buddha was born as a prince, and then he slowly became, he ran away from the society, from the kingdom, and in order to help all beings, he meditated for many years and finally become enlightened. We call become enlightened means simply realizing his own inner wisdom. That wisdom is, for everybody, not just a Buddha, but we all have that Buddha nature or wisdom. And his first teaching was to everybody. He said that there's no gender difference. There's no. It doesn't matter what family you are. It doesn't matter what position you have. To practice Dharma, male, female. But most important part is the mind. So that was kind of the first light that Buddha brought in that world, because there was no difference. If you are such a butcher, or somebody kills and this considered very bad, but that kind of karma is something can purify if your mind is motivated because of your pure nature that you have. Everybody has this pure potential or pure nature. And the reason why Buddha said that practice Dharma, there's no difference whether male or female or whatever you are, because he sees that everybody has this potential to become enlightened. He sees that people like ourselves has a lot of affecting emotions. Those are kind of temporary. It is not really part of the enlightened mind. That is the beauty of the practice. And right now, we as a human being have a very high quality. We are smart. We really know a lot of. Look at the world, how we created all this new, we so-called developed world. All of this scientific thing, all of this technology, everything comes from humans' intelligence. And so when you use this intelligence in meaningful way, so we have so much information that we never even can think of such, many years ago. And when you use that intelligence in meaningful way, it is really helps the society. But on the other hand, the defects of this developed world is that because sometimes our intelligence goes a different direction, using based on strong hatred or anger, then it's a very devastating. Just think about the World War II, etc. How many, just one instant, how many people got killed. The people, life we have is so precious and so valuable, and so it is instantly, gone. All these hopes. Everybody has this hope. Everybody has family, culture, wants to survive for long term, but instantly, gone. All of this. So, what I'm saying is that that's part of the improved evidence that about the Buddha nature, the intelligence. This morning I gave an example you are at night, you have this flashlight and you cover with your hands. How much you cover this, glimpse of light comes from your hands, between hands. Similarly, the approved Buddha nature is that no matter who we are, we have this intelligence, we have this compassion to our own loved ones, we have loving kindness, we have careness to our own country. All of this a little bit improve about or evidence about having Buddha nature, but that is very limited And so Buddha, that's why Buddha taught how to develop unconditional love, unconditional wisdom and compassion. And so how we develop our loving kindness, compassion, I think that is very, very important, because the entire Buddha's teaching from beginning to the end, there's a quotation in a sutra of Buddha. He said, Sanji chi chun ninjira to chewao. Do you understand that, right? It's Maltese. Yeah? Sanji chi chun ninjira to chewao. Ah, you hear it. So Sanji, ¿qué pasa? Sanji chun ninjero chihuahua means the Buddha's teaching is all about compassion, from beginning to the end. And so we always should discuss about compassion and loving kindness. So that's why I would like to give you a little bit sort of instruction or maybe explanation about loving kindness, compassion. And there's one Indian Pandita, a scholar, wrote a famous book known as Bodhicaya Avatara. It's translated as the way of Bodhisattva's action. Bodhisattva means it's a Sanskrit word. It means that someone totally focused on for the behalf of others. That is called Bodhisattva, Changchu Simba. So he mentioned, one of his quotation was, he said this way, Dewa dechung tum perang dewa tataran jam. Once again, Mandir dungwa jenju dungwa nila imbra juk, which means